Good afternoon, you garage warriors. Welcome back to Mr. Rodder's neighborhood. In this episode, we're still working on the 63 Buick Special Superstock car. As I had alluded to in the previous video about the sprung and unsprung weight, I had planned on using some of those aluminum drums that I had found that fit perfectly off of the Grand National. Actually, I found it was probably WE4 T-type, or the hot rod version of the Grand National had a little bit better suspension components and stuff like that. But those are probably what those aluminum drums came off of. To me, it doesn't really matter. It's just an aluminum drum. I know you could get them on a Camaro. I know you could get them on a couple of other cars. Well, actually, there was a myriad of GM cars that they were available on. So it wasn't just the Grand National. That's just what these came off of. I found them at the Buick Nationals, and that's what they were from. So, I have seen them before in the past, and I got a couple of pairs off of, like, what was funny is it was just an option available. And I had got some off of a four-door Pontiac Bonneville that had them. Previously, I've seen them on S10s as well. I don't know if they came factory on an S10, but it would make sense that it would fit on an S10 because it's pretty much a G body with a truck body on it. So to make matters better, like I said, I was going to buy some 67 through 69 Camaro hubs, and I did, and they're in, and I got the hub mocked up, and it's not as straightforward and simple as it sounds, but I'll walk you through it on exactly what parts you need to convert one of these. You know, it'd be like a 61 through 63 Buick Special or 61 through 63 Oldsmobile F85. To a 5-lug in the front using factory components, available pretty much just about anywhere. I mean, once you get into the Camaro realm, it's like, even, it doesn't matter. Like, they're pretty much made for a billion years, and they're going to continue making them for a billion years. It's probably one of the most desirable cars in the GM inventory, so there's always pieces and parts available. But this is using 67 to 69 Camaro replacement hubs, and I'll show you how it goes together. All right, so here's one of those 67 to 69 Camaro hubs that I told you about. I bought a pair of them from Summit Racing. I'd prefer to use OEM parts, but they're just kind of hard to come by, but replacement pieces are fairly easy to find. So this kit came with virtually all new inner and outer wheel bearings, seals, dust caps, even the castle nuts and pins. But and it was $100, I think is what it was, 99 something. All right, but the here's where you're going to stray from some of these parts, okay? Because the information that I had found on the web kind of alluded to this, and I was somewhat prepared for it. So I was hoping that, you know, I could make something out of one thing. So the spindle here, one thing I did notice that's completely different than anything I've ever screwed with before is the castle nut on the end of the spindle is reverse thread on this side. I don't know if it's the same way on the other side. I'm sure I'll find out. But, you know, as you can see, the brakes need to be going through and all that. But this was more or less just for mock-up purposes to see how it was going to work. Okay, so here's your regular hub, and here are some of the pieces that you will need. Now, this is the inner wheel bearing from the 63 Special. It is the same diameter on the outside as the Camaro, but the inner is a little bit different. Yeah, I believe it's actually, it might be larger, or it's smaller actually. So this is the replacement one that came in the kit. It will not fit on the hub, right? So it stops there. It won't go any further. So this one here from the 63 Special that was already on it is a little bit larger diameter on the inside, I guess. So no big deal, because it is the same on the outside. And the way I figured that out was you turn your hub over and drop your bearing into place. Okay, and it fits like a glove, right? Same with the new bearing. It fits in there same way. Okay, so no big deal. The new bearing is no way it's gonna work. So use the old inner wheel bearing. And it doesn't matter if you use because the race in here, you can actually use an older bearing with a new race. You just can't do it the other way around, I don't think. I think you can't use an old race with a new bearing. But it's the same way like in the rear ends and all that stuff too. But as you can see, this is completely Chinesium. It is drilled off center, but what I did was I checked the run out on it, and it seems to be just cast off to the side, and it's still centric on the hub, which is kind of weird. That means it would be tight on one side and then the other, but it's still 100% Chinesium. So unfortunately, I doubt you can find any non-made in China ones. All right, so what I did find was the seal here for the 63 Buick. It's a little bit different design. It has a felt design on the inside here, and of course they probably no longer make them, but it's too small. It doesn't quite fit tight in there, sloppy, no big deal. So I measured the inside of it, and the inside of it is actually the same size as this seal here, not a big deal. So your hub is going to work just fine. This seal was meant to work with this kit, so it will be fine. All right, so you need the 63 Buick castle nut. I've decided just to go with the washer and stuff that was originally on there. The outer bearing, it looks like you can use the outer bearing from the wheel kit, that it's the same size outer bearing, meaning that it fits in there just fine. I don't know if I should even bother with these Chinesium bearings. I'm not sure. Should I just go back with the factory stock bearing that was in that 63? It's probably of a higher quality anyway, which I might do that anyway. So we'll just go with that, I guess. All right, but other than that, though, it does fit on there fine. It centers the drum here, and the drum is, like, again, you're about 8 pounds lighter. So I figured it's probably, when I couldn't weigh it up, I found a thing online that said this drum actually weighs 8 pounds and not 5. So you're saving a total of 10 pounds, but it's 10 pounds of unsprung weight. So it will add up, because I plan on using 4 of these, right? So you do 4 of them, and now you're looking at 20 pounds of unsprung weight. That's considerably a large amount of weight, and it's easier to take weight off at this point than it is to add horsepower to the car. So that's kind of where we're at. So you need the original inner wheel bearing. I'm going to go with the original outer wheel bearing, the dust seal from the kit, the castle nut from the original castle nut from the 63 Buick Special, and I'm just going to use the washer just because it was kind of a match set. But and that'll get me, it'll be converted from 4 to 5 lugs. So, and I can use the aluminum drums, and the neat thing is the center of the hub here is actually the same size as the hole in the drum, the center of the hole in the drum. So it does center the drum up, and I don't have to worry about it centering on the 5 lugs. It's just actually centered on the center, which is the way it's supposed to work. So I did try it out with a Super Trick wheel here, and bolts right on, no problems. And then you give her a spin, and it doesn't take much to spin it at all. So hopefully this was enlightening and helpful for some of you that have never done a 4-lug to 5-lug conversion on a 61 to 63 Y body, but this seems to work. $100 and you're all in. And you throw in the drums, that's $165, and now you got some lightweight drums as well as a 5-lug pattern up front. The rear is going to be a little bit more difficult, but we'll get to that later. So I will see you tomorrow.